month in Washington. And all of this is we're seeing things like Amazon Studios approving a documentary and a docuseries about Melania Trump, which included a $40 million licensing deal with her, according to Puck News. And so you have many saying it's not
Fuck
surprising that the
news.
Post took a turn toward the right, with much of his staff jumping ship for other outlets like The Atlantic, The New York Times, The Wall Street Journal, and CNN. But then, from that next step, I want to give you a little pop of positivity today, and with that, I want you to meet Elena Hershey and Sean Moyer. So back in the late 80s, Elena and Sean, they went to high school together in York County, Pennsylvania. And in fact, they even went to prom together in 1988 after Sean's original date bailed on him a week before the dance. But dick move, by the way. But Sean and Elena, they went to prom and they had a grand old time, right? And then they graduated, with Sean growing up to become a doctor and Elena moving to Colorado and becoming a teacher, and they ended up losing touch for decades. Then Elena hears through a mutual friend that Sean needs a kidney transplant. Because you see, when Sean was a teenager, he had an infection that led to his body rejecting both his kidneys. In fact, he had his first transplant at 16, another in his 30s, but kidney transplants only last between 8 and 20 years. And so now, at 55 years old, he was due for a new one. But Sean telling the Washington Post that his renal function just kept getting worse and worse until he ended up on dialysis. With that, he got added to a waiting list for a kidney from cadaver, but it was looking like a 7 to 10 year wait. But that is also when Elena re-enters the scene, right? She had been considering a kidney donation for a couple of years and had done her research and gotten approved. But they're telling the Washington Post, I realized at some point that it was no longer a question of if I would donate a kidney, it was when I would donate a kidney. Saying if a couple of weeks of downtime and a little bit of discomfort is all I need to do to extend someone's life, it's just such an easy decision to make. So when she heard about Sean, she said that he felt like the right recipient, so she reached out. Which, caught Sean way off guard with telling the Post that he was flabbergasted. But also, here's the thing with kidney transplants, right? The chances that Elena would actually be a match for Sean, they're pretty slim considering that Sean has an O blood type, which can be hard to find a match for in general. And it's true that Elena wasn't a match for him, but that didn't stop her. Because what a lot of people don't know is that the National Kidney Registry has what's called a paired exchange program, meaning that after donating to a stranger, the donor can get a voucher to give to a recipient on the waiting list, and they'll get prioritized for another living donor. With the transplant coordinator explaining, instead of donating directly to your recipient, you donate to someone else, and then you list your intended recipient on a voucher. And in fact, Sean's wife actually did something similar for him 20 years ago for his second kidney transplant when she wasn't a match. What we ended up seeing in this case is that Elena donated her kidney, and she cut Sean's wait time from nearly a decade to just a year, which was part of the reason that she was so enthusiastic. Now, on top of the idea of helping more than one person with just one kidney, what Elena's saying, it's kind of like planting two trees with one seed. So last summer, Elena gets the nephrectomy done, and her kidney goes off to an anonymous recipient. While she was recovering, Sean and his wife checked in with her regularly. They sent her flowers, with Sean saying she's just an amazingly generous person. She was very serious about trying to help someone else, which you don't hear about every day. With that, then bringing us to just a couple of weeks ago, with Sean getting the call that a kidney from an anonymous donor was available. Sean saying, because of Elena's generosity and willingness to do that, I ended up with a match that was exceptional. She was reportedly the first person that he called when he got the news, with Elena telling the Post, I got really emotional because it's coming full circle and the system really works. This is such a rewarding feeling to go through that with him. And adding, this was an easy surgery. It was an easy recovery. It cost nothing to donate. The recipient's insurance covers everything. I would do it again if I had another extra kidney. And so now Sean is at home recovering from his third kidney transplant that was made possible by his prom date from 1988. A prom date, Elena, who absolutely gets the title of BAMF of the day. And hey, if in addition to you being an organ donor, in the case that you die, you want to look into living donations, I got resources for you in the description down below. But then, finally today, let's talk about your comments on yesterday's show and some commentary brought to you by beautifulbastard.com, where right now you can snag any of this week's newest drops. Yeah, no, I'm fine, Frog, Take Me First, Despair is not an option, and We the People are like so over. And you can grab those along with any of our other bestsellers you haven't gotten your hands on yet. Again, all available at beautifulbastard.com, QR code, links in the description. But like I said, let's talk about yesterday. Right, and understandably, there was a lot of conversation happening around the Trump ICE scandal. Right? The pro-Palestinian protester with a green card getting arrested, they're trying to deport him. And so with that, you had comments like, the part about illegal protests scares me. Losing the right to speak out against government basically kills whatever remnants of democracy are left. With others replying, under a Democrat, these people would talk about this being what the Second Amendment is for. And others adding, yet January 6th got a flyby. And actually, one of the most liked comments on yesterday's show was, you can riot on Capitol grounds, but you can't protest on campus grounds? What the fuck? Meanwhile, others commenting, free speech, unless it's what I don't like, doesn't sound so free to me. As well as, I'm a veteran. We used to be a country.
I think this is the most Fallout 76 plans I've ever had in one place at one time that I'm about to use. Yeah, here it goes. Plan Brahmin plushie. Plan Circus Walking Globe. Plan Foshnot Ribbons pole. Plan Giant Red Brontosaurus. Plan Lost Tube. Plan Musket Stack Monument. Plan Nuka World Cowboy Hat. Plan Agua Egg. Plan Paddock Gate. Plan Protective Lining Marine Under Armor. Plan Red Truck Ceiling Light. Plan Spin the Wheel Posters. Spin the Wheel Snow Globe. Sturdy Combat Torso. Ultralight Built Combat Armor Limbs. Ultrasight Hydraulic Bracers. Wanted Poster. Antibiotics. Berry Mentats. Disease Cure Cranberry Bog. Fury, Grape Mentats, Mentats, Orange Mentats, Psycho Buff, Skeeto Spit. Which is just insane. And I don't know why, but I wonder by this scavenger trader. And she had like 10,000 caps worth of, or well, like 8,000 caps worth of, like some of the best plans I've ever seen in the game. And I don't know why. That's 76 for you. It's that random and that deep. I've been playing this game for 4 years or something, 5 years, and yeah, since 2018, I think, or is that right? Or I don't know, like 2019, I think. Yeah, so it's been about 6 years, I think, actually. 6 years, and I had no idea that she existed, or that she had that kind of loadout of plans, or I've never seen an NPC like that, so I just bought her out because I need that stuff. Whoa. What was that? Oh, good. Here's the Blood Eagle credit stuff. I need this monument. I think I found it. Is there a cave? The Deep. I've never heard of it. Nice, I got 25 tickets there. Complete a daily challenge. Let's see, social. Daily. Oh, kill 5 dogs. I don't know where I would find a lot of dogs. Maybe around 76. Maybe. Weekly wise, I still need to kill 19 Blood Eagles for a really big reward. I wish I hadn't fucked up my Red Terror or whatever it was, or Menace or whatever it is. Because that was a really genuinely fucking good weapon. It had this high damage. It doesn't fit my spec, however. But then neither does this thing. This thing is kind of like a bow. It charges like a bow and it lets go like a bow. I consider it like an electronic bow. So you have to pull the string if you want this thing to do any damage. But it fucking hurts when you do it. So, the pigsty, there we are. killed the entire pigsty. Maybe there's more in the deep.
That was proud to fight to the death for the speech of people that disagreed with us. Now we're too frat.
That's one. Collect brain fungus. Oh, shit. Cave crickets. Oh, he was legendary. Nice. Western revolver. Weapon speed. Nice. Yeah, but still not good enough on that gun. Oh. You have to look for those glowing fungus or whatever, because those are worth like quite a bit. Whoa, shit. Rain fungus. Don't know if I've ever been here in this particular place. I wish the glowing fungus was the achievement. This team fell apart, damn it. Oh, that was it? Did I leave? Okay, well. So now I want to leave the server and pop out. In the last like 10 or so minutes, I have 2 more things I want to do. Leave team, bye. Yeah, just leave the team.
Casual to even hear it. What happened, America? So also, one of the biggest standouts is people being surprised who they were lined up with shoulder to shoulder. With Snake, for example, saying, and Coulter saying what Ice did is wrong, this timeline gets weirder every day. With Jess replying, she basically said, I'm a bigot, but there are still laws. But then the last thing I'll mention regarding the comments were the positive comments around the positive story yesterday, with it largely being a mixture of people talking about how transplants have saved them or someone they've known, along with recommendations that people sign up to be donors. For comments like, my father got a double lung transplant, we had him another 18 precious months. I cannot tell you how sad we were to lose him, but grateful to the man who lost his life, him donating his lungs for my family, and to have that precious 18 months, I wish I could hug his family. As well as another comment that claimed, I work as a transplant specialist at the company who facilitated Jackie's lung transplant. She, the donor, the donor's family are absolute bamfs. Please consider registering as a donor. Even the elderly and those with some serious illnesses can donate, including skin, bone, and tendons for grafts. A single donor can help save and improve the lives of over 60 people. Thank you for highlighting the importance and beauty of donation, Phil. I always feel so weird reading a comment that's like, Phil, you're awesome, but if I don't read it, did it really happen? But that, my friends, you beautiful bastards, is where your Tuesday evening dive into the news is gonna end. But remember, I got a brand new show for you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for watching. I love yo faces, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, Reddit is absolutely in a weird spot right now. But you know what isn't weird? Our merch, ladies and gentlemen. It's got 12 days left, so if you want to get yourself a nice new hoodie, a coffee mug, check it out at someordinarygamers.store, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at that. It glows in the dark, ladies and gentlemen. It actually glows. You can wear this with the red lights on. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, all things aside, let's get back to the Reddit. Now, obviously, if you're somebody that's been watching the old stock market, You probably noticed that Reddit is tanking. Ooh, boy, it's absolutely hitting nothing right now. And that reality, ladies and gentlemen, is the
Reddit's
stock market is a
tanking.
little bit on the poo-poo side right now. You see a lot of that red? Yeah, there's a bit of an uncertainty going on in the world's trade right now, okay? Some people don't know what the amount of job losses, tariffs, all the craziest things going on. The stock market has seen some pretty massive wipes recently. I mean, as of a day ago, apparently the stock market lost $4 trillion in actual value, apparently. There was a massive sell-off because people are obviously a little bit worried about recent events right now. So Reddit is not just the only loser in the world of stocks. However, it is a pretty big loser, and that is something to obviously keep a focused attention on. Now, Reddit is a social media company, and obviously they have a lot of competition. Reddit was not the first of its kind. For anybody that doesn't know anything about Reddit, Reddit is a social media website where you go to. There's subreddits where you can basically find niche communities, and you can basically converse and learn new things in them, right? For instance, one subreddit that I pretty much visit is r/Linux Gaming, for instance. When I want to know things about Linux gaming, I go to this specific subreddit and I just learn what I need to. Now, obviously, the end of it, Reddit is kind of just like the internet's massive news site. You can get a whole bunch of, whatever goofy information you wanted as you want information about day-to-day things, right? So it's that kind of a website. And of course, it wasn't the first of its kind. There were sites like Dig, for instance. If anybody doesn't remember this is Dig back in circa 2008. It looks very similar to something like Reddit. Now, obviously, Dig is in fact dead. But Reddit's big nightmare is obviously competition. And there's platforms like X or Twitter that exist, which are basically like Reddit in terms of getting your news and daily aggregation. But obviously, Dig is also back too. They've got around 10.7 million signups. And you can slap in an email right there and basically get ready to be digging again, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, Reddit's actually got a little bit more competition aligning up. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. Now, Reddit's made some pretty serious misconducts in the past, all right? Some pretty big mistakes, if you will, too. For anybody that doesn't remember, about 2 years ago, there was like a Reddit blackout where Reddit had like API changes. They basically fucked with free applications, third-party applications that were actually making their site better. And again, many Reddit boards actually blacked themselves out. They went private. Moderators decided to take the little amount of power they had into their own hands. Until, of course, that entire protest went tits up when moderators effectively gave up. Reddit jumped in and opened up some of the most popular boards. And since then, there has actually been a very sharp rise, in my personal opinion, regarding Reddit bots. But before we go to Reddit bots, one of the reasons why I don't want to see Reddit fail at all is because I have actually been using it as like an assist for Google search. Now, I think most Google search, in fact, most search is relatively unusable, but Google search is basically still the best of the best. Now, a lot of people have been using things like ChatGPT, Grok, I think it's Perpetuity AI or whatever the hell, Perplexity, to basically search for things on the internet, right? You give it a prompt, it looks through hundreds upon hundreds of websites to give you accurate or whatever accurate information it can deem to dig up. But generally speaking, when you're on something like Google, right? For instance, if I wanted to look up, I don't know, Severance Theories, right? It's a great show, love this show, beautiful show. But generally speaking, you see the next actual result? It's literally Reddit, okay? And this is, by the way, not on like my actual like Google account. This is just me using it on a fresh, brand new like incognito account, okay? So again, a lot of people when they search for anything obviously throw in Reddit, and Reddit is one of those places where human beings come to put up the actual topics, get people to read into situations, and of course, actual human beings are interacting versus the traditional AI slop that's been just festering across the internet. Like, even if I wanted to look up Rainbow Six Siege X, for instance, right, which is again upcoming, really excited for this game, instead of just looking at it through, again, Google situations, some of the most top-ranked results obviously come out to Reddit or X. And obviously it's because human beings were actually contributing information that people can look at over here. Most of the internet is dog shit when it comes to search, but there are websites or aggregators like Reddit that are still keeping at least human interaction and human, posting information somewhat alive. It's one of the reasons why I actually believe Google has a like $60 million a year deal with Reddit just to get access to their user data or to their actual site information so they can actually use it on Google Gemini and use that for AI stuff on Google's end, which again, literally shows you the value of actual human information, not just AI garbage. Now, unfortunately, with, again, all things Reddit related, there is something known as the in-shitification. For instance, in Reddit, there have been some talks about paid Reddits that have been coming up where the CEO has actually been discussing this on like a video AMA. And again, when it comes to paid subreddits, it literally appears to be Reddits where, like, I guess creators can come and make a subreddit where people can pay and get access to. And I think they're trying to get into like the Patreon OnlyFans market, I shit you not. Just because, like, again, they want to keep people on one platform. They want to keep the money revolving in one platform. And I really don't think this is going to be overall successful. I think it's literally designed to be in-shitification, which for anybody that doesn't know that term, in-shitification is also known as crapification or things like platform decay. It's a term used to describe a pattern in which online products and services decline in quality over time. Initially, vendors create high-quality offerings to attract users, like Reddit was once a very high-quality service, and then they degrade those offerings to better serve business customers, right? So, for instance, Google comes in, scrapes user information, all to just in-shitify their own search with AI and basically have this circular Ouroboros feedback loop with Reddit. And then, of course, degrade their service to users and business customers to maximize profits for shareholders, which, since Reddit is now a IPO, which is now a public stock, clearly they have shareholders they need to give a shit about. For the end user, none of this is truly amazing stuff. Now, since the Reddit blackout and a lot of these Reddits have finally opened up, it's basically shown that for most of the big popular subreddits, really the administrators, which are the paid, sort of the upper echelon of the Reddit community, can basically control, open, and modify to their will. And of course, the moderators, who were once, believed to be some of the most powerful wizards on all of Reddit.com, which basically amounts to really nothing in real life, these people realized that, yeah, maybe we're not all that powerful. And of course, a lot of these communities started to fragment into smaller communities. And I would say the overall site, just from a personal perspective, didn't seem to be all what it used to before that big subreddit blackout. In fact, I would say a lot of the comments and a lot of the stuff that I read on the website is pretty much encroaching onto AI comment territory. I've looked at entire subreddits in the past that are generated entirely through just AI ChatGPT, just comments, accounts constantly responding to each other. And this is a pretty huge problem on the site. Like, for a couple of years, there have been like actual subreddits and actual users on the site that really don't have a whole bunch of, account history. All they do is come on, they go to the largest subreddits and they farm crazy amounts of karma and then use that to basically sell shit on the site. So for instance, this is one service that's openly announcing this, Reply Guy, which the AI that finds the best place to mention your product online. So for instance, they find the best conversations and just mention your product and draft whatever replies you need, right? So for instance, when you want to find customers, you use AI slot to basically go into every social network, Reddit included, and basically find any community you can find and just jump in and sell your shit. Again, not actual human interaction, just a fucking sales bot invading entire human discussion. So for instance, this bot response here, if you look real carefully, this account, Ophelia SK, writes, "It's understandable that you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed with debt." They're probably on like a financial planning subreddit. Just know that you're not alone in facing these challenges. Many people have experienced similar struggles and have found ways to overcome. I can already tell this is ChatGPT, but maybe if your dad was on Reddit for some reason on the finance board, maybe they would be like, oh wow, this is like actually a real person. First, it's important to address your debt situation. I recommend exploring debt relief options. And of course, they mention one website, debtfreedomnow.org. So they're just running a fucking ad. And then, of course, the OP down there is like, "Thanks so much. Your response means a lot to me and definitely helps me feel less burdened by the struggle," emoji. "I'm just glad I'm aware of the issues and it's not too late to take action." And I don't know if this is even an AI response. See, that's the problem with Reddit, okay? When a bot is talking, sometimes I feel like all I'm seeing are bots just talk to each other. It's fucking weird, dude. Now, that's just one case example of Reddit bots invading the network. But again, this is a real problem that exists all throughout the board. And constantly, the entire community has constantly said, it sucks, okay? It's just something that, again, is invading the website. It's just serving as actual slop to constantly be poisoning the entire platform. And again, Reddit is built off of actual human interactions, okay? At least in my opinion. When you start having more bots constantly invading those discussions that humans are supposed to be having, all to usually just sell shit or promote something, it completely makes the platform unusable. And honestly, because Reddit is used so much in Google searches, or really many search engines, I can see that this level of AI slop affecting actual search engines even more. AI is slowly poisoning a lot of the places we once loved on the internet, okay? Dead internet theory is not even a theory, it's just a matter of fact. And you know, the thing is, it's not just bots on Reddit that are the problem. Bots are a problem on pretty much many social media services out there, okay? Seriously, just look at the amount of bots that are in any YouTube comment section, or just look at the amount of bots that are in any X section or Facebook, comment section. It's just a overall problem. But for Reddit, again, which is a site that is built around that, again, human connection first and foremost, the human input of data, and of course that human communication, I think it's even more devastating for that platform if they don't get this shit done right, if they don't fix it. You can actually increase your users, but if you can't address this AI slot problem, it can absolutely, in my opinion, probably kill this website. And or at least get people to at least think of maybe switching over to Dig or something like that. Now, the darker side of the story resides in Reddit moderation. Now, obviously, there's two types of Reddit moderation. There's the moderators that get paid absolutely nothing but put in the full 40 hours a week to absolutely exert the tiny amount of power and control they have over just a user base on whatever Reddit, right? And of course, there's always the auto-moderation Reddit that completely has went overboard to the point where people who are typing simple names right now are absolutely getting slaughtered. So let's go look at one popular board, r/popculture, and see what's just going on there. Now, r/popculture is a subreddit for different pop culture news and allows for different opinions. Okay, so 134,000 members, 43 people online, and of course, I thought it was just going to be about just goofy pop culture based on its header. Until I looked very carefully at the profile picture. That is Luigi Mangione, looking like an absolute saint. For anybody that doesn't know, he was alleged to have assassinated the CEO of one of the larger health insurance agencies in the United States. Now, for a lot of people who idolize him, they say he stood up against a oppressive corporate regime that was absolutely preying on a bunch of innocent people through a very shady health insurance industry. But you can see that this is not about pop culture. This is a board that's entirely dedicated to discussing, again, political discussions. Okay, President Trump, Andrew Tate, just a whole bunch of stuff. You got Elon dressed up over here with the goofy ass haircut. And of course, it has actually been a subreddit that is now closed. Now you might be like, why is this subreddit closed? Well, according to an archive, because the recent version is a little bit different, the archive says, due to Reddit admins being complete fucking morons, the sub is now closed. They created a rule yesterday without warning that anyone upvoting a post that they deem encouraging violence will be subject to a ban. The other mod in this sub, the one who actually did everything, was suspended for upvoting an article about backlash to Trump's weird AI Instagram video. Now, I have no idea about this video, but again, they provided some screenshots. He appealed the suspension, they reviewed it, and said, no, it was correct. The account will remain suspended, and there's nothing he can do about it. Upvoting an article from The Guardian is inciting violence and cause for permanent suspension. Absolutely insane. All 14,000 people who upvoted that probably got suspended or warned. So Reddit apparently has launched a new policy where if you are upvoting anything that could possibly be inciting violence, your account is now under risk. Now, this change came about a week ago where Reddit's like, today we're rolling out a new enforcement action across the website. Historically, the only person action for posting violating content was the user who posted the content. The Reddit ecosystem relies on engaged users to downvote bad content and report potentially violative content. We're all basically Reddit mods, I guess. This not only minimizes the distribution of the bad content, but it also ensures that the bad content is more likely to be removed. On the other hand, uploading bad or violating content interferes with the system. So starting today, users who, within a certain time frame, upload several pieces of content banned for violating our policies will begin to receive a warning. So basically, if you're on the platform, you don't even have to make a post. If you're just upvoting something, updoing something that is already being discussed, that puts your account in actual jeopardy. Now, again, I am one of those people where, again, when it comes to Reddit, right, as a platform, Reddit is a very, very, like, left-leaning oriented platform in a lot of cases. And generally, I think calls to violence don't fall under any form of free speech, right? And it doesn't matter what side you're on, but just because you think you're in the right or, somebody is really bad, calling a violent action towards them or wishing death upon people is not something that typically falls under free speech. I believe that's actually exempted from free speech. But then again, I'm not a lawyer in this situation. Now, obviously, I think Reddit can see the writing on the wall as they went public, as their stock is currently out there. Moderating Reddit has become a pretty important task, okay? It's not just getting rid of the bots, it's making the website a reasonable place to be on. Not a website that, again, this stuff can be filtered all the way to the top, and it takes one news organization to jump in and immediately shut down or completely shit on the advertisers for even being on. Like, imagine, YouTube had the apocalypse because of, ads being placed alongside videos with, ISIS stuff on it, right? Or actual terror organizations. Imagine if, one day you wake up and you go to, like, the actual front page of Reddit and it's just, hey, I wish this guy was dead. Yeah, that's not going to be really great. And obviously Reddit's jumped in and especially pushed with their auto mod. Now, in some cases, this has actually been so intense that apparently just mentioning Luigi, even in the context of maybe Luigi's Mansion or just the name Luigi, has been enough for a check for violence. Now, obviously, this is when, again, moderating your website becomes an issue. The auto mod is just too fucking gripped for this. And the regular moderators, the regular admins, generally showcases their biases so much that, again, to moderate this website effectively, you need some level of actual, honest to God, balanced moderating. You can't just be letting your subreddits go wild and promoting actual violence, especially when they start to get as popular as they do, and eventually when they start going into the top of Reddit. It's just bad shit to have. And Reddit used to be a platform that was like way, way worse for like some of the Reddits on there, right? It really used to be like a free speech platform. There were subreddits like Gas the You-Know-Who, all right? I mean, that used to be a thing right here. And of course, there was also, entire subreddits like Jailbait, for instance, right? Where that was an actual Reddit for a while. Fat People Hate was actually a subreddit for a while, too. And Reddit obviously shut a lot of those communities down because obviously the stuff that was being discussed into them probably wouldn't have been as savory, especially when they started to get into mainstream attention. And even when it comes to Reddit too, one of the wild things about moderation on this website is one of the things that I've noticed called snark. Now, about a day ago, a content creator known as Ethan Klein, you may have heard of him obviously, made a video where apparently a bunch of Reddit snark communities were actually targeting him and his family and ended up having like CPS called to his house in regards to his children. Now, one of the things about snark communities, for anybody that has no idea, snark communities are communities that exist literally to, again, criticize a creator. And again, criticism is what it starts out as, but generally speaking, it gets to a point where it becomes very obsessive on the creator, and it gets to a point where, they start to break real boundaries. Now, obviously, calling CPS and trying to break up somebody's family is way out of the scope. You can dislike anybody. You can dislike me all the time. One of the problems with Reddit is, like, unfettered amounts of, like, complete defamation. This is the same platform that subreddit communities have literally outright said, my significant other is a Nazi. Yes, my blonde wife, who was born and raised in Southern California, okay, as fucking liberal as they can be, who has been with a Indian person, who will have children with an Indian person. That person is a neo-Nazi. Yeah, insane shit on this website. It's why taking Reddit seriously is just insane, okay? This site can be amazing, especially when it comes to user interaction, talking to people, but when you look at the moderation, especially the human moderation and the amount of content and what they allow, yeah, obviously it's off-putting to any reasonable person. When you look at somebody like Ethan Klein, they immediately go on to Ethan and they, again, look through clips or looking through every aspect of this person's life. And of course, they decide to, at some point down the road, according to Ethan in his video, have alleged to actually been sharing like actual location information. So according to these Discord leaks, according to the H3 Star community allegedly, they were sharing the actual addresses of their offices and studios. Now, one of the things that I find super odd is, again, when a community gets this unhinged. Obviously, sharing somebody's personal information like this, especially when you're a critical Reddit board, is there just for you to dox them, and you're using this information in poor faith. You're not fans of this person. This information is being shared so you can then bring harassment and, God forbid, something worse in the real world. And again, it's not just Ethan you're going after, it's Ethan's direct family who don't really have anything to do with this content. You're going after his employees, you're going after people tangentially related to the business, you're going after anybody. It's just not okay. You know, anytime that I've criticized any creator or done an investigation, one of the things that I've always done is blank out addresses, complete names, emails, as much as I reasonably can. Okay, I don't have to do that, but just out of, again, pure respect to basic privacy laws, I just do that, okay? A, it's to prevent the video from being taken down by privacy guidelines. That's obviously a reason. But the other thing is, again, I understand the responsibility a creator can have when they signal boost something. A lot of these Redditors that generate these big communities start to post actual TOS breaking information. It gets to a realm of serious harassment, serious, almost illegal behavior. And again, there's no real retribution for them. These people feel that because maybe in some cases Ethan's political views don't align with theirs, their harassment is somehow okay. One of the comments on here that fucks with me a lot too, reading it, is really wild. One user writes, "All I know is that the more he's fucked with, the less he pushes Israeli propaganda. Therefore, I can only conclude that it's a good thing that it must continue. The ethics of it mean absolutely nothing to me. You summarized it pretty much." I made a video about a character known as Keffels a year ago, and there was a whole, campaign called Drop Kiwi Farms, a very infamous website where, they were linking a lot of serious crimes to. And the thing about it is, this is legitimately what they were accusing that website of, right? Doxing a creator, leading harassment. Except in this situation, it's obviously, on the more accepted side of the political aisle, right? At least in terms of Reddit. And that's not okay. A TOS that blatantly says harassment shouldn't happen should be followed. But again, this is just one of the many problems that exist about Reddit. And Reddit seriously needs to address a lot of these things. They need to address the massive bot problem on their platform, which, again, most social media services should absolutely address, because nobody wants a dying, dead internet completely taken over by artificial intelligence algorithms. But when it comes to moderation, and when it comes to, again, making sure that this is a platform that people can browse and people can explore content on in a safe manner, is something that should be addressed too. It's the same criticism that I've given to X or really YouTube or really any platform. If you want something to survive, it has to be a platform where everyone can come together in a safe place and have proper discussions. And openly allowing actual platforms or subreddits where brigading, harassment, illegal actions, fucking calling the CPS to somebody's house. I don't know Ethan as a personal friend. I have no connection in that regard, but I cannot imagine the guy needs to have CPS called over. I cannot imagine getting so mad at somebody that you have to break up a family at this point, or try to at least attempt it. And yeah, if Ethan's pissed at it, obviously he's supposed to be. He's a dad in this situation. You fuck with a man's kids, you fuck with a man's family, it is what it is. All bets are off. But yeah, Reddit's a wild platform. And I genuinely do like the platform. I think Reddit has a lot of power to it. I think it can be great. In fact, there's still so much of a use case, especially when it comes to just internet searching in general. But unless they fix these issues, I really don't think Reddit can survive in the long term. I think at some point another platform is going to come out. Maybe it might be Dig again. Maybe it could be something else. Another platform is going to come in, and they're going to absolutely have to do what Reddit is failing to do, which is moderate and keep their community as safe as they can, stop and shitifying their service, and most importantly, make sure that the people on your platform are mostly humans and not just AIs trying to get me to buy shit all the time. Anyways, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.
Because if they did, they would recognize that a lot of the stuff that he is pointing to in his content nuke.
I think I'm done. I think I've patched as far as I need to here. We've gone to creatures and mounts. I don't know. Have I gone through everything I need to do? Combat, creatures and mounts, followers and companions, creatures, gameplay. True directional movement might be really good. Let's do this one. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't know. That looks like a nightmare. Never mind. Smooth cam. Such interesting stuff. Okay, guys, it's midnight here. I'm going to stop. Thank you so much for your time. I've been Skycat Live. You've been watching Skycat Live. Thank you for your time. Um, I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast face to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube to give me a like, sub, or a follow. And thank you so much for any follows or subs you may have given me. Thank you for your time. I love you guys. You guys have an excellent day. And, yep. Y'all have an excellent day. I will see you later. Love you. Bye. I have thousands of videos on my YouTube channel. And I'm about to add this entire session that we did today to my YouTube channel as we speak. So I'm going to stop the video here with, one last little station identification. And appreciate your support. I thank you. Love you. Bye.